Hello, everybody. It is Emily with Claim Brilliance, and today has been a crazy day. So, let me tell you the importance of mindset before we get started. This morning, my son was driving a bunch of other teenagers to a church class, and he got into an accident. It was really dark where he was at, and there was a bunch of construction, and he missed the stop sign, ran through the stop sign, and he ran into another vehicle. They both couldn't stop in time. Anyways, everybody's fine, but if it had been probably about, I don't know, like 2 years ago, when I first started my journey, I would have been freaking out and really upset. And it wasn't anything. It wasn't anything. So it's really important that you learn to manage your emotions and to be able to know that everything's going to be okay. And that when we can manage our emotions, we can get a lot further. And luckily, thank goodness, nobody was hurt. So mindset matters, you guys. And that's like my quick little what happened today and the journey that I've gone through personally about healing my mindset and creating calmness within myself. It works. And the techniques that I have as a mentor and a life coach are really amazing. And keeping your head about you when you find out that your teenager, well, he's 18, but I had a teenager in there as well. And he was driving a car full of other teenagers. And like I said, 2 years ago, it wouldn't have been what it was today. So I personally am so very grateful for the techniques and for the ability to manage my emotion and heal my mindset so that I can be okay when life happens, right? And not totally beat is what I was going to say. Not that I beat my kids, but totally beat my son for not paying attention. But stuff just happens sometimes, and we're just really grateful everybody's okay. And anyways, mindset. And that's my quick message before I get into the training that I have for you guys today. So let me get my screen share up so that we can get started. All right, let me see, where am I? Oh, I may have closed it. Okay, hang tight for just a second. Let me see if I can pull it up. I hope everybody is doing good today. And it's just so crazy, you guys. So crazy that, you hope that everything will be safe when they leave and that everything will be good. And then when something crazy happens, it is what it is, right? And yeah, I'm just so very grateful on these times where I'm not freaking out. And it's a good feeling to be able, and it's a good feeling for my son as well, which I'm going to get into a little bit about. Goals is what we're talking about today, and the importance of goals and how to set goals and all of that fun stuff. So I found my screen, my presentation screen. So let's get started. Okay. First of all, let's get this started. All right. And I'm going to be popping on and off depending on the screen, because I have a tendency to get in the way, and I don't know how to make it so I'm not in the way. So there are times when I'm going to be on and off of the screen. All right. So welcome to Claim Brilliance. First of all, my name is Emily. I'm going to be introducing myself a little bit more in depth as we go, but I wanted to start by saying hello and This is my company, Claim Brilliance. I'm all about being able to help people live their truth and live their passion and live their dream, and being able to get from point A to point B is amazing. And that's how we live our lives. That's how we're supposed to live our lives. And I am faith-based. So I'm going to use Jesus Christ. I'm going to use God. I'm going to use Heavenly Father sometimes, not ever in a disrespectful way. I don't swear. And so that's one thing about me, that you can let your kids watch me, because I don't use foul language. But in the case of referring to my God, my Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, if you don't like those words, that's what I'm going to use. But put in higher power, whatever it is that you believe in. Okay, so welcome to Mind Creation. Let's see, Mind Creation. And I put this webinar together for you because I want you to know how to set goals, what kind of goals there are, the difference between what I call push goals and pull goals. And we're going to go through it and how the mind works and all of that fun jazz. So welcome to Mind Creation by Claim Brilliance. Who am I? Okay, this is where I am going to make myself disappear. So I will be back in a little bit. Okay. So who am I? I am a wife of my wonderful husband of 23 years. I have 5 beautiful children. They're no longer kids, but they are still my children. They're adults, young adults, teenagers. And I love being a mom. I'm a certified coach and mentor with 3 Key Elements, as well as with Yale. And I have participated in Toastmasters. I love speaking to people because I feel like it makes a difference. And I don't know, I just love people, and I love serving, and I love teaching. And so this comes naturally to me. I put together a co-op with one of my beautiful friends. It's Bountiful Baskets. If you're from the West, you may know about it. If you're not, it is where we get fruits and vegetables. You can get bread and different things every weekend. And I ran that. So that was kind of fun to teach my kids, because I do also homeschool. I have homeschooled over 17 years, and part of that homeschool, I wanted my kids to learn the importance of service. And so that was part of my homeschool, and teaching them the importance of serving your community and being a part of your community. And so I did Bountiful Baskets for 2 years. Let's see, I have been a leader in the leadership positions in my church, both the youth programs as well as adult women program. That has been a lifelong journey and has been a lot of fun as I have served these beautiful ladies and young women. I've traveled. I love to travel. I don't love to fly, but I do love to experience different areas. And so I have traveled clear across the country. We started out in Utah, where we lived there for, oh goodness, we lived there for 19 years-ish, 19, 20 years. And then we moved to North Carolina, where I drove with my kids and my father and our dog at the time. We drove across country, and that was an experience and a half trying to manage all of that. And I have some amazing stories, from loving people enough to letting strangers into our hotel room, and help a stranger, not strangers, but a stranger who needed help, and letting her in and helping her out while we were on our trip. And that was that was quite the adventure. Anyways, And so we traveled across the country. North Carolina is where we lived for a year and a half until we moved to Arizona. And now we are here in Arizona currently. And we call ourselves gypsies. So we'll see where we end up. All right. So I've also been outside of the United States. I traveled to the Bahamas with my daughter and then to Jamaica for our 20th anniversary. I had to think if that was the 20th. Yes, it was the 20th for our 20th anniversary. And being in a third world country is quite an experience. My eyes were opened a lot. So those are some reasons why I love traveling, is because I get to experience and get to learn, and not just hear about different scenarios and different things, but actually able to be in the situation and learn of what the world is really like outside of the United States. It's very eye-opening. I love to read, and not just read, but also implement what I read. So this goes back to my experience this morning with my wonderful son. I only have one son, so I call him my favorite boy. And it's very, very good to be able to read and implement the things which you read so that you can change your mindset. With moving a lot, I love collecting friends. That's what I say, because people matter, and I really do care about people. It's my passion is to serve those around me and to serve in a capacity that makes a difference. More leadership skills that I had was I worked for Olive Garden for a hot minute, and they advanced me to training the Olive Garden servers. So I was training them on how to really be a wonderful server that people deserve. And so they saw that quality in me, and I loved that job. It was a lot of fun. My love for God, learning, and people have taken me down amazing roads. As I continue down this road, I look forward to serving the masses. And I appreciate you being here today with me. Okay, so today, this is the agenda. We're going to talk about goals, how the mind works, and the next steps for success. Welcome, my friends. You have made a great decision by being here today with me and spending this time. Wherever you are, whatever day it is, whatever time it is, I hope you are blessed by this knowledge. Let's get started. Studies have been done on the effects of writing down your goals on paper. There is a saying that I really love from Benjamin Franklin, and he says, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I live by that motto. Writing down your goals is super important. I actually have a notebook where, if I can find it really fast, I would love to show you. Okay, let me turn me back on so that I can show you that I really do what I teach. I implement what I teach. And so every single Sunday, I go with my family and we write down our goals. Let's see, here's an example. It's going to be backwards for you guys, so I'll just go ahead and read it. I have my spiritual goals, my social goals, my physical goals, and my intellectual goals. And every single week we go through as a family and take turns talking about the goals that we want to set and the goals which we want to accomplish for the week. And then we report. And as we report, we then set new goals and we talk about what worked, what didn't work. And we've been doing that now for quite a while. We really love it. So that's like one of our traditions in our home is I actually really do when I teach these things, I want you to know that I implement them as well. So this is really, really, and it's really fun. It's a way that we can bond together, and it's a way in which we can report and let each other know kind of what's going on in our mind. As a homeschooler, it's really important to be able to be on the same page as my kids and what their goals are, so that we can create that curriculum, but not just my children, but my marriage and my husband, and being able to support him in his endeavors. It's really great. So wanted to share that with you, and let me click off of me and we'll keep going. Okay, so if you don't set any goals can be a trigger word for some people, and it's just the direction in which you want to go. That's all a goal is. So what do you want for your future? And so if you don't set any goals, not setting any goals is like having a raft on a river that has a lot of rapids with no paddle. You are going to go wherever that current takes you, into the rocks, into the trees, and crashing, and because you're just going without any direction. So setting a goal and not writing it down, you have a 14% higher chance of accomplishing no goal, because at least then you have a goal. And then when you write down your goals and tell somebody, this is amazing, you guys. This is why every Sunday we get together and we talk about our goals, is because it goes up by 60%. Your ability to achieve your goals goes up to 60% when you set a goal, write it down, and tell a friend or family member. It's awesome. Now, when you write it down, tell a friend or a mentor, and report, you have a 98% chance of getting your goals. I want that to sink in. You have a 98% chance of obtaining your goals if you write it down, tell somebody, and then report to somebody. That is why we want to set our children up for success and set ourselves up for success, is because, and this is how you do it. You write it, you tell it, and you report about what happened. It's amazing. Okay, so what happens when you write down your goals? Two basic levels occur: encoding and external storage in the brain. So encoding is what happens in the brain when you see something. So writing down with pen and paper, you actually see that information. It goes into the hippocampus for analysis. And when you see something, which I'm going to be talking a little bit about writing down, well, maybe I'll just do it now. When you write down something and you read it every single day, it goes through your reticular activating system as well. And I'll talk about that in a minute, because I have kind of a slide. So, but that information, when you write it down and then you see it, it goes into the brain, into the hippocampus part of the brain for analysis. And it like starts thinking like, okay, this is good. This is good. Like, this is good information. And then the external, pen to paper for a daily reminder, it places your goal, and then placing your goal somewhere where you can see it daily. That's another part of the reticular activating system, which I'm going to be talking about in just a minute. Both are really important to get into your subconscious. So those are the reasons why we write them down. All right, so what happens when you tell somebody? When you tell others what you are up to, it holds you accountable. So, it holds you accountable because you're not doing it alone. It's not like this secret thing that you can push off to the side when you just don't feel like doing it anymore. And then it's much easier to back out of your goals, right? If you don't tell somebody. But not only that, the biggest part is that you have a cheerleader, especially if you set a goal with somebody and you're on the same path. So it can be a financial goal, it can be a weight goal, it can be a nutrition goal, it can be a marital goal or relationship, healing different aspects of your life. And then you have somebody going along with you along that journey where you can not go it alone, but you have a cheerleader and you have somebody by your side who's like, yes, let's do this together. But even if you just hire a mentor, being a mentor myself, I can promise you, I will be your biggest cheerleader and also your hardest coach, because the excuses won't slip through. And so that's why it's really important to have somebody on your side. All right. And then when you report to somebody, again, you're held accountable, right? Like if you have somebody to report to on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, monthly is a little too long. You can, especially when you're first getting started, it's really, really, really a good idea to report to somebody daily. It doesn't have to be long, just a thumbs up or, hey, I did good, or it wasn't a good day today, something like that, so that you're held accountable. And then you're more likely to do it because you know at the end of the day or the end of the week, you have to report to somebody and you want to be able to report something to somebody. So that helps you along your journey. You also have someone who can help you problem solve. So if you're just like, this just isn't working, then you can say, okay, who do I know who has had the results which I would like? And then you can problem solve. People are going to have different ideas than you have. Let me say that again. People are going to have different ideas than what you have. So being able to ask for help, you have to let go of ego, which will say, oh no, I don't want to tell anybody that I'm having problems in this area, whether it's weight or nutrition or finances or family. If you tell somebody the problem, I promise you're not the first person who has ever gone through the same problem in which you are dealing with, okay? Or the same goal in which you're trying to achieve. You also have a higher chance of living in integrity because you have, like, we make promises to ourselves so often. It is crazy how many promises we don't keep to ourselves. And yet we expect other people to have integrity. So if somebody says, hey, I'm going to be there at 5 o'clock, and then they're not there till 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, or don't come at all, we get super, super annoyed and irritated and frustrated. And yet when we tell ourselves, okay, I'm going to wake up at 7 o'clock and go straight to the gym, we then don't have that same level of frustration because we just get used to not living in integrity with ourselves. And that leads to low self-esteem and all sorts of different things. You lose who you are because you're not living in integrity. So when you have a mentor or coach, or even just a friend or a buddy, right? Family, whatever, when you have somebody to hold you in a higher level of integrity, then it's easier to become the person who you're supposed to become. And it's also easier to live in integrity because you know that you're going to be doing that, reporting to somebody. All right, hold on just a minute. I need to drink. Thanks for the patience. All right. If your person is a mentor or a life coach, then they can help you see your blind spots and can call you out on your excuses. A lot of times we think that having a family member is good enough, but a family member and friends, they don't want to hurt your feelings and they don't want to create issues, especially in like families. They don't always have, they can't always speak their mind and call you out without offense being taken, but having somebody outside of yourself, outside of your realm, outside of the situation, can view it at a distance and be able to say, this is where you're slacking, this is where this is the blind spot you're not seeing, and these are your excuses. And so it helps to have somebody like a mentor or a life coach, to be able to have them on your side. And what's the difference between a mentor and a life coach? A mentor is somebody who has gone through what you're going through and knows the steps. A coach is someone who is just like a basketball coach. They're not in the game, but they coach you through, they push you harder, they don't let you have excuses, and they also brainstorm. Mentors can brainstorm and all of that. It just comes from a different angle. So a coach doesn't necessarily have the results which you're looking for, but they know the coaching, they know that aspect, where a mentor has been down the path which you're trying to go down and knows the things to watch out for. Okay, so it's just two different angles. So when you're looking for somebody, do you want a coach or do you want a mentor? And again, as a mentor and a coach, it is really important to be able to have somebody outside of your realm so that they can call you on your blind spots and call you on the problems and call you on the excuses, and not have you take offense, or, like, oh, you just don't support me, or whatever it may be. And so it's really just important for a whole lot of reasons to have somebody outside of the situation. All right. So with all of that in mind, writing down your goals, what kind of goals do you want to write down? So I created this cute little diagram, and this is you. This is your goal. This is the mountain in which your goal sits upon. And this is the wind pushing you to your goal. Okay, so let me get this arrow. I put it there so I could use it so you guys could see better. I don't know if it's going to help or not. Okay, but push goals. These are the actions which push us towards our goal. So, and the pull goal is the outcome. Okay, I'm going to say it again. The push goal are the actions we take on the goal to take us to push us up the mountain. They push us up the mountain. I should do this too. They push us up this mountain to get, oh, the mountain doesn't move, guys. Let's see if I can make this work. No, I created a problem. Okay, well, now we're on the mountain. Okay, so the push goal pushes us up the mountain and helps us get to the outcome. The outcome pulls us. It's what we really want. So it's the one that's going to pull us, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, come my way. Let's do this. I won't, that's the gold star, is the outcome. So it's going to pull you in the direction which you want to go. And the action steps, when you break down your pull goal into action steps, those are the things that are going to push you up the mountain. So let's say you want to lose 20 pounds. That's the goal. So you want to set smarter goals, and but you want to be able to have the outcome in your mind, like, this is the direction I want to go. These are the things which I want to obtain. This is the end result. And then your push goals are, if I want to lose 20 pounds, what are the action steps which I need to take? So nutrition, tracking your numbers, making sure you're going to and moving your body, that not only strengthens your muscles and your heart, but it also helps your mood and your brain and all sorts of different things. Anyways, but for weight loss purposes, we need to move, we need to drink a lot of water, and we need to be able to stick with a certain eating plan, right? And so those are the action steps that are your push goals. And your pull goals, again, are the outcome. Okay, so I mentioned SMARTer goals because SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time sensitive. I added another trackable, and then exciting and realistic. So it's SMARTTER. Okay, SMARTer goals. I'll say it again. So if you need to pause it, you can, or I'll just say it slower. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time sensitive, trackable, exciting, and realistic. And that is, when you're setting your goals, you want to make sure that you hit all of those areas when setting goals. All right. So I hope this makes sense. I think it's really important that you are able to know the difference between a pull goal and a push goal. And you need both. Because if you just set push goals, well, that's just taking action, which is amazing. But where are you going with that? And if you have a push goal or a pull goal, but no push goal, how are you going to? So one is the what and the other is the how. And you really do need both to be able to obtain your goal. All right, so why is it important and where does motivation come from? First of all, I hate to tell it to you, but motivation typically comes after you start seeing results. Oh, let me say it again. Motivation usually comes not at the first, not when you're putting on your shoes to go to the gym, or you're not going to the store to buy a new purse, but you're saving it. Delayed gratification. I have another video on delayed gratification. If you want to go find that video, then you can learn all about delayed gratification and how motivation ties into delayed gratification. But here's a tip for finding motivation is find your why. Why do you want to obtain your goal? Okay. And then, because sometimes it can feel selfish to want to save money, to want to climb a mountain, to want to go to the Bahamas, to want to buy a new boat, to want to do these different things that we want to do in our life. You know, if you want a mansion, it's really important not to just find out the why, but also who will benefit when you get your goal. So who is it going to benefit? This is a really, really, really important piece of the puzzle, because if you feel like you're setting goals and setting goals is really selfish, then this is a really important step which you need to take is who's going to benefit from who's going to benefit from the results of when you get your goal. So if you want to get a boat, what are you going to do on the boat? Is it going to be a fishing boat? What kind of boat, right? Is it going to be a ski boat? Is it going to be a sail? Is it going to be a yacht? I don't know. And when you get into the details of the boat that you want, who in your life that you know right now who's going to benefit when you get that goal? And how will it change your life? How will it change the life of the people which you're serving, which you're able to take out skiing or fishing or whatever it is that you want to do with that boat? So find out these 3 questions, and to find your why. I have a mentee. I'm going to turn me back on so I can talk for just a second to you. Okay. Hi. So I have a mentee, and I was mentoring him, and I kept asking him, well, why? Well, why? Why do you want that? Why do you want that? And he got so frustrated. And I think, so I go 7 layers deep. 7 is a perfect number. Perfection represents perfection in the scriptures. And so I go 7 layers deep with my why. And I think I got to like 4 or 5. And he's like, Emily, this is so stupid. Why do you keep asking me why? And I was just like, well, you're giving me shallow answers. And until you can give me the answers, again, I was coaching, until you can give me the answers that I know are in you, then I'm going to keep asking why. Why is that important? And so as you're asking yourself, why do I want this certain goal? Go 7 layers deep. Like, I want to lose weight. Why do you want that? To feel better. Why do you want that? To look better, whatever it is. And then go 7 layers, because about layer 4, you're going to start really thinking, okay, what is my true why? Like, why do I want this? You have to get through the surface levels in order to get down into the levels where it's in your heart. So you go from your brain to your heart. Okay. When you go 7 layers deep, you have to it's like an elevator in your mind, right? And so you have to go 7 layers deep to get to the root. And my Claim Brilliance, if you noticed, I had the tree with the root system, and I am all about the root, because with your mindset, if you can influence the root and strengthen the root, then the fruit will come and bear what it is that you long to have. So make sure you're finding your true why in whatever your goal is. Okay. All right. And then make a list, you guys. Make a list of who will benefit when you get your goal, and how will it change your life. So how the brain works, we have different parts of the brain. We have the conscious brain, the subconscious, the reticular activating system, and then neural pathways. So let's talk about all of these. So the conscious mind processes around 500 bits of information per second. More or less, it's around, okay? I've heard less and I've heard more, but a nice round number is about 500 bits of information per second. The conscious mind thinks and solves, acts, creates, and learns. So these are all of the things which we can control. And if we're talking about a boat, so we'll just keep with the boat, since we've done the raft and the the boat with no oar, or the boat with oars, or the boat with oars with somebody else paddling with you. Those are all going to make a huge difference on how to navigate. Anyways, and then the fishing boat and all that. So that was fun. So we'll just keep with the boat analysis. Okay. Analogy, not analysis, analogy. So the conscious mind is where the captain sits. They have the wheel, and they get to tell the rudder, the people of the engine people, how fast, how slow, all of that. So they're the captain. They think they are awake during the day. The conscious mind is awake during the day. And we can say to ourselves all we want. I don't really believe that, but if your results continue ending up the same, then it is because the engine, your subconscious, doesn't believe what your conscious mind is saying. So your subconscious mind processes around 11 billion bits of information per second. We don't even realize it. The subconscious mind is in charge of breathing, your digestion, the functions of your body, all of that, all of the things which you don't control, right? And then how the conscious mind communicates to the subconscious mind is through pictures, feelings, and repetition. So the repetition also is really important to get through the reticular activating system, which I'll go into in a minute. But again, the subconscious mind is like the engine of the ship. So it takes things literal. So if you say, if you're sarcastic and you say, I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay. Number one, the subconscious mind, the way that it works is it doesn't want to lose anything, which is, I know it sounds a little bit wonky, but for real, if you lose your keys, then that's a bad thing. If you lose your wallet or you lose your children, I don't know, you lose a puppy or a kitty, you lose something. The subconscious does not like to lose anything. The subconscious mind says, I do not want to lose. Okay. And all it hears is lose. So when you're talking about your goals, it is better to reframe and say, release. I want to release, meaning let go of 20 pounds. Okay. Your mind takes things so literal. And that's why when you set goals, and also if you do affirmations, it's really important to say, I am so grateful now that and then fill in the blank. Because your subconscious says, oh, that's the direction that the captain wants to go. So I am so grateful now that I have released 20 pounds, or you could put your goal weight. I am so grateful now that I am 130 pounds. And then I am so excited that I am able to release trying to think if that's appropriate, my extra 20 pounds. I think that would be fine. Anyways, phrase it in such a way that your subconscious is willing to follow those instructions, because our subconscious is super literal. And if we say we want to lose, doesn't matter if we want something, to lose anything is bad. So saying it in a way, and then making sure that you use vision boards and declarations and play pretend, you guys. Play pretend. If you want your vision board and you want your things, your goals to go into your subconscious, use the right vocabulary. Pictures go to the mind a lot faster than words. And then, so pictures with feeling is going to get your subconscious to change directions a lot faster than thinking and problem solving and even taking action. Have you ever taken action and then, like, say you want to start building a savings, and so you get it to $1,000, and then all of a sudden something happens, like a car accident? That's funny. Okay, like a car accident, and then that depletes your savings account, right? Well, did that happen because circumstances just bite, or did that happen because your subconscious is not programmed at a thermostat? Its thermostat is set at 65, which is, we'll pretend $65 in the bank, right? And so if you notch it up and all of a sudden you have $1,000 in the bank, it's like, oh, it's too hot in here. I need to turn on the AC. And so things just start happening, circumstances start happening, things come up, and all of a sudden you're back down to your thermostat level. And the opposite happens too. If your thermostat, it says 65, and you have a bill come in that is 65, and you're just like, I'm just going to pay this off. Your thermostat is like, oh, I'm below temperature. I need to turn the heat on to get me back at 65. That's your subconscious at work. Okay. Now let's talk about the reticular activating system. I love the reticular activating system. It does a couple of things. So when we were moving to North Carolina, we actually thought we were going to move to Florida first. And all of a sudden I saw Florida plates everywhere I went. Everywhere I went, I saw Florida plates. And then when the job that we thought we were going to get didn't pan out, and we ended up getting a job in North Carolina, all of a sudden I started seeing North Carolina plates and meeting people who had lived in the same town that I was going to. And it's just crazy. Your reticular activating system will point out, oh, that's proof of what you want. Oh, that's proof of what you want. Oh, that's proof of what you want. And it also discards. So if a new idea comes into your mind, like, okay, I want to release 20 pounds, right? Then because of your mind files, our mind has files. Basically, your subconscious has these certain things that you developed, which I call mind files, which you have developed particularly from the age of birth to around 8. You have locked down mind files that are in like a vault. Okay, your reticular activating system, its job is to keep those files safe. No water damage, nobody can break into them. Okay, no robber's gonna come and take those identities, those ideas, those things from you. And so the way we get through the reticular activating system is to continue to act, continue to create, continue to, like, persistence. Okay, it's like all of these bombs are gonna, arrows, I don't know, all these arrows are gonna go to the reticular activating system, and as it attacks the activating system, it's not gonna let its guard down. But here's the really cool thing. So have you ever heard that it takes 30 days, 21 to 30 days to create a new habit? That is actually false. What is happening is your reticular activating system is starting to accept the change. So if you do something for 21 to 30 days, your reticular activating system starts thinking, okay, I think she's serious about what she's keeps telling me. I think she's serious about this direction. And so it will start to allow in the information to change, heal, repair the engine, because the engine has been messed up through parents, through teachers, through friends, through experiences, through people, all of these things, okay, have built us, our vault, our mind file vault. And in order to break through, in order to unlock the reticular activating system, you do it through repetition, through reading and learning and education, and to not give up. And so that's how you open up the reticular activating system. So how long does it really take for us to create a habit? I wish this was live so that I could get some guesses, but I will tell you, it takes up to 365 days to actually create a habit. Where, have you ever heard it takes 21 to 30 days to create a habit, but it only takes 3 days to break it? It is because it is not a habit. It is the idea that got through the reticular activating system and said, I think this person is serious. Then to create a habit, it takes 365 days, a whole year, to actually create the habit where you won't just in 3 days let it go by the wayside. Interesting stuff, huh? Okay, so this was interesting also. So where does the bits of information come from? The eyes, the skin, ears, smell, and taste. So all of your sensory, that's where the bits of information comes from. And I was really curious about this, so I did the research, because I was just like, yeah, I'm not seeing everything that every second. And so that's where all of the bits of information is coming from when they say that there's 11,000 or 11 million bits of information is coming from all of your senses. Just thought that was fun. Okay, so here we have neural pathways, and hopefully you guys can see my arrow, my triple arrow, my quadruple arrow, my 4-way arrow. So what are neural pathways? They are like roads in our brain that get you from point A to point B. So they're like roads that you travel, that your mind is used to traveling. So say you wake up in the morning and you're used to turning on the coffee pot. That would be this road. Pretend that that's this road. Okay. So it's the way that your mind, your brain thoughts and your brain waves and the way that you think, it travels. Okay. And there's neuroplasticity, which there is an amazing video that I like to put in here, but I couldn't figure out how to link it, but it is really good. Anyways, if I can figure out how to link it, I'll share it. Anyways, so this is your neural pathway. It is the pathway that it's used to taking. So if you would like to start a new or a different neural pathway, say you want to make a glass of celery juice every morning instead of a glass of coffee, then it's going to build a new road. But this road is still really strong because it's been traveled down for so long that it's just used to doing that. So when a new idea comes, it creates a new pathway, neuroplasticity. Okay, our brain is changing, the highway and the way that we think and the way that we feel and the way that we act starts to change. And the more we drink the celery juice and not the coffee, the stronger this pathway becomes, and the less this pathway becomes, until this pathway is super small and this one is really strong. So this happens through changing your behavior, changing your mindset, healing your files, and really acting and strengthening. Instead of going to the kitchen to turn on the coffee maker, I'm going to turn on the juice blender. And then instead of going and turning on the news, I'm going to hit the gym instead. These pathways will be less used, and so they will shrink. You don't use it, you lose it. This is a good indication of you don't use it, you lose it. And so if you stop doing bad habits and you start doing good habits, then the good habit neural pathway starts to form and your brain starts to change. And you can look up neural pathways and neuroplasticity. And if you YouTube it, there is a video. I'm trying to think of what the picture is. I think it's of a brain, a cartoony-ish brain. I wish I could link it because it's so good. But anyways, look up neuroplasticity and neural pathways and view a couple of the different videos that they have so that you can gain a better understanding. I'm a visual, so seeing it, it's just going to be easier to understand for those who are visual than those who are auditory. So I'm doing the best I can here, but you change your pathways. And once those become highly traveled, then, and these ones are not highly traveled, then these ones disappear and your mind files and your mindset starts to change. So all of this is mindset, and how we change our thinking and is how we change our life. So you change your thinking, which changes your perspective, which changes your actions, which changes your outcome. Okay. All right, so I have some do's and I have some don'ts I want to share with you. The 7 do's of setting and keeping your goals. Set both pull and push goals. Get a vision board. If you don't know what that is, I'll be going over it in just a few minutes. Find your true why. I already went over that. Just get started. You don't have to know in order to take action. I have an experience where my marriage was not in a very pretty place at one time. And in order to heal that, I wanted to spend some time with Steve and we started running. I hated, loathed would be the word I would use. I loathed. If there's a word stronger than that, that's how I felt about running. But I wanted to heal my marriage. So this was my why, right? So I set my why. I did not know how to run. I did not know the appropriate form. I did not know shoes, anything about shoes. I didn't know anything about anything except that you go faster than walking. And I didn't even do that actually. So when I first started running, I went to the track and I could only run for 13 seconds at a time. And if that wasn't bad enough, the old ladies who would walk the track were faster than me when I started running. Crazy. Fast forward about a year and a half, and I had released 75 pounds. Actually, I think it was more like 78, but a little over 70 pounds. And I ran a half marathon. And my why, my true why, healing my relationship, happened as well. So finding your true why and just getting started, even if you don't know, just start. Start with what you do know. I knew that I had to bounce when I walked. That's all I basically knew when it came to running. And so just get started. Okay. And then I like to create a to-be list. This is a list that you will create and you'll mark off. It's like a to-do list, but it's not a to-do list. What are some actions that you need to take in order to get the results you want? And then you mark that off. It can be one thing, it can be 20 things. It doesn't really matter, but create a to-be list and then keep integrity with yourself. Make sure that you do your very best to check that off. And so if you have 5 things on the list, on your to-be list, and you are only getting to one thing, do it for a week. And in a week, explain why you couldn't get to it. And then the next week, set those three things. And when those 3 things become easier, add one. Okay. Don't create this huge to be list because you're ambitious. It is better to be in integrity with yourself than to not be in integrity with yourself. And I will actually show you kind of my, if you're interested, my to-be list. Let me get done with this though. And then write down your goals, write down your story. Writing down a story, what in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years, what do you want your life to look like? What does your perfect day look like? And then research your goal. Research your goal so that you're not going in blind. So when you just get started, when you start researching, you have some direction, like proper form when running and not heel thrusting. Because I started heel thrusting because I didn't know how that I was even doing it. So what is heel thrusting? Heel thrusting is when your heel hits the pavement first and then you roll onto your toes, and it's like bashing your bone. And so I had to learn to land on the middle of my foot and not on the heel of my foot because I didn't know anything about running. I didn't know until I researched. All right, so let me show you really fast what my to-be list looks like. Hi. Okay, so I have my planner here, and then I write down what I want to accomplish that day, and then this is my to-be list. It's backwards for you guys, but it says time with God. Let's see, time with God, nutrition, train, that's this, exercise, so I'm going to hit the gym later, serve, that's also this right here, cook, I know how to cook. I don't love to cook, but I have a fitness goal. So nutrition and cooking is part of that goal. And then I love to plan. See my plan. I love this. Is actually like this is like my break for the day because I love doing it. And then reading and cleaning and then training on a program that I'm working on. Okay, so that is an example of my to-be list. My to-be list used to look a lot different. Let me see if I can find something that is different. So my to-be list used to be meditate, post on Facebook, listen, read, dance, make bed. I used to be horrible at making my bed every day. And so I wanted to do that. And so making my bed was something that was on my to-be list because it's just something that I needed to get into the routine of. And it was just important to me that I had that. And so you can put on there little things. They don't have to be great, big, huge things, just so you know, but it is important. Sorry, I don't need that anymore. Okay, it is important to create your to-be list, okay? And then to write down your goals, to review your goals every single day with your why involved. Like, I want this because of this. I want this, it's going to influence these people. I want this, and then go through both your goals as well as who is it going to benefit? Amazing. And then research so that you know not to heel thrust when you're learning to run. All right, those are the 7 do's. I also have some don'ts, the 7 mistakes. I have a mentor, Peter Sage, for those of you who are interested. He says, stop swimming in other people's goop, the good opinion of other people. Stop swimming in the good opinion of other people. Okay. Who cares if people are going to doubt you? When I was on the track and everything was jiggling and I hated loathed every single second of it, if I cared what those old people who are walking faster than me thought, then I am swimming in a bunch of goop. Okay. If you're going to hit your goals, you have to not care what other people are going to think. And do you know what? So my journey took me from the track and running to lifting weights and releasing all of that extra weight. And guess what? When I was at the gym, There was a point where I was that person who other people probably thought, oh, they just have been here their entire life. And who am I? But that's not how they think. That's what we think they think. I would have people come up to me who were like really, 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 really fit. And they would be like, hey, I've noticed you're here a lot. Can I help you in your technique so that you don't hurt yourself? How amazing is that? And now when I go to the gym, I talk to strangers if I have to, like, hey, I've never done this machine. Can you help me out here? And more often than not, they're like, heck yeah, let me help you out. And it's amazing. Okay. So don't swim in other people's goop, because 95% of the time we're wrong about what they're thinking anyways. Trying to go it alone. I have to laugh because I have done this so many times, trying to get where I want to go all by my little own self. I can do it without my ego said, you don't need other people. Don't let anybody know your weaknesses. Don't let other people know what you're struggling with, because they will judge you. This went from marital issues to raising my kids to finances to weight, name it. I've probably been there. Okay. And so trying to go it alone, you guys find somebody, find a mentor. You can contact me. I would love that. I would be your biggest cheerleader and we will party it up. Okay. But I won't also go easy on you. Just like my mentee didn't understand, and he got really frustrated, like, why are you doing this? And so I spilled it out and I told him, stop giving me weak answers and I'll stop asking you why. Okay. Anyways, good times. And then not reviewing your goals after you write them down. If you write them down, again, review them, as well as who's going to benefit, why you want it, and what is it going to be like after you achieve it. Okay. Not sharing your goal is another it's a huge mistake to go it alone. Find a friend, find a mentor. Okay. That's again, number 5. Not sharing your goals, not having a friend or a mentor. Okay. Trying to go it alone. All of these things are just mistakes. Not educating yourself about your goal. Had I not educated myself about heel thrashing, I would not have achieved my goals. I had to educate myself. So when I first started running, I was clenching really hard and everything was all tight and everything. I learned that I had to loosen my hands. So kind of running like this, but I also learned that I had to loosen my jaw. Interesting. Like all of these little things that I didn't know when I first started running, because but I knew what I was doing was hurting. And so I got a book about how to run properly. So educate yourself and you watch YouTube if that's what it takes. There's so much information. There's not a lack of information out there. And then waiting for motivation before you take action. You guys, if I would have waited till I felt like running, it would have never happened, ever happened. Do not wait to feel motivated. Find something that is motivational that will get you started, but you can be motivated all you want. If you're hanging on to a cliff that you just fell off of and it's a 50-foot drop, you can be motivated all you want to keep holding on until you give out, until your fingers and your forearms and you just give out. You can't hold on forever. You can be motivated, but eventually you're going to slip. So waiting to be thrown a rope, you've got to take action. You've got to be the person who says, this is what I used to do when I first started running, because I hated it, you guys. I hated it so much. It was ridiculous. So what I had to do instead was I would say to myself, this is just the way I'm choosing to live my life now. And I would run for 13 seconds and I would walk. And then when I felt like I wasn't going to throw up anymore, I would run again. And then I would walk. And day after day after day, I got better and better and better until about a year and a half later, I ran a half marathon with my husband. It was a haunted half. That was fun. I also learned that I didn't even know, because I hated running, right? That I really love fun runs, and they are my favorite run I've ever done. There are two. So I did the Tough Mudder twice. I love the Tough Mudder. I think it is so fun. And then the Dirty Dash, which is another mud run. It's a half marathon, or not a half marathon. It's a 5K. And that's 3.3 or 3.6. I don't remember anymore, but 3.3 or 3.6 miles. And I still, every once in a while, I still do them. I got hurt, and so I stopped running. But I'm getting back into it, which is exciting. And yeah, do the best I can, right? And every single day you get better and you get better and you get better, and you lift more weights and you get better and you get better and you get better and you get stronger, and it's so fun. So don't wait for motivation, because if you wait for motivation, it's never going to happen. Again, go and look up my YouTube video that I put on called Instant Gratification versus Delayed Gratification, and it will go more into detail about that. So, all right, I'm going to skip that for time. Okay, so what is a vision board? A vision board is a visual representation of the things which you want to achieve. So if it is learning an instrument, lifting weights, gaining muscle, winning a race. My daughter at the time really wanted a snake, and so I put a snake on there. But getting a pet, earning extra money, having a relationship, we can set all types of goals. Getting your education or a partnership, whatever it may be. Put it on your wall and frame it out. I have one mentor who, when he first started his vision board, he just got painter's tape and taped it off so that there was a border, and put one picture, and he would stare at that picture, and he would pretend to have, and what button did what, and he would actually take, and then the opportunity came for him to where he actually got that video camera. Somebody called him, said, and he knew the specs, he knew the details, he knew the price, he knew it back and front, like as if he had already had it, right? And then somebody called and said, hey, I have this job for you. Are you interested? This is how much it pays. That was the exact amount of the camera. So pretty cool. All right, declarations. Start your declarations as if I am with I am. Okay. I am and I have. Really, really, really powerful. The I am statement, when Moses went to talk to the Lord on the mountain, he said, well, who should I tell the people what should I tell them your name is? And he says, I am that I am, or I am who I am, or I am that I am. And so I am is declaring I am. So if you declare, I am hungry, really powerful with your subconscious. If you say things like, I am mad, or I am hungry, it goes into your subconscious as if that is a fact. That is what you are. So saying I feel is a little bit different. So, or I'm experiencing pain right now. I'm experiencing loneliness. I'm experiencing hunger. I'm experiencing sadness. Experiencing is not declaring who you are. So when you say I am, be very, very, very careful when you are stating an I am statement. So when you say I am hungry, it's actually saying I am a consumer, not a giver, but a consumer. Just so you know, like little tip there. Right. And then add emotion. So say it, see it, feel it, manifest it. Say it, see it, feel it, manifest it. How often should you do this? At least 2 times a day in the morning, or 2 times a day, once in the morning and once in the evening. So if you look at your vision board, focusing on one thing at a time for 2 minutes before you go to sleep, then your subconscious actually takes the time which you sleep to communicate with your conscious and will figure out ways to, it will start problem solving and saying, okay, what information do we have? What experiences do we have? And who do we know? And then when you wake up and you look at it with a notebook and a pen and you write down your ideas, people should come to mind, ideas should come to mind, and different things will come to mind. You write it all down, because your subconscious sat there all night trying to problem solve because you said it, you saw it, and you felt it, which means you want it. Okay. You're changing your filing system and it's beautiful. Okay. All right. 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes in the evening with a pen and a paper. Where do you put it? Where you see it. If you need to take a break, put it in your bedroom. If like your break space is in your office, put it in your office. If your break space is your bedroom because you just need a timeout, or you need to just close your eyes for just a second, or you know, whatever it is, that's where you're going to have your vision board. Okay. All right. And this is what others have said about me. To whom it may concern, during the 3 years that I have known Emily Breyer, a couple of words have always come to mind when I've thought of her. These words: happy, inspiration. Emily is unique, is a unique enthusiast, has a unique enthusiasm for life, along with a commitment of honesty, value, and truth, which are enhanced by her empathy and generosity towards others. These make her a valuable friend, associate, and mentor. When one considers Emily, sorry, I got distracted from my daughter. Sorry. When one considers Emily with all of her qualities, then adds her quick mind, her sense of adventure, her abundant creativity, and her ability to think outside the box, it's obvious that that's a force for good, a force with which is to be reckoned. Sorry, I can read, I promise. With complete confidence, I can say that Emily is a powerful contributor to the human experience, and benefit all with whom she associates. In my personal life, my friendship with Emily has always brought a smile to my face and hope to my heart. I've personally benefited from her desire to help and serve others. Yes, she is easy for me to recommend Emily as someone who has blessed my life in more ways than one. In a brief summary, if you're seeking a hardworking, intelligent, enthusiastic, empathetic, honorable person of integrity to add to your team, Emily is your woman. Tammy Swain. That was really nice. She is a wonderful person, and I am so grateful that she was willing to do that for me. Okay, I would like to extend to you an invitation to my group mentoring that I am going to be creating. I want to extend your knowledge about vision board work. There's lots of different techniques that I haven't even had the time to cover. And so we will be covering how to do a vision board, materials to use, words to put on there, and just a lot of different expert tips. That's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. How to get your mind right and how to use your words to move you further. I kind of went over a little bit of that in this presentation, but not completely. Let me help set you free. I love let go techniques. I want to teach you how to let go of negativity, bad thinking, and how to use forgiveness. Because when we can learn to forgive, then when we learn to let go, we grow. Okay. I also have some packages if you're interested in these, where we can work one-on-one and not in a group, but it's my time and your time and we're together. And these are the packages for my smallest package. It is 3 sessions, 60 minutes for each session. The value of this is $1,500. It's actually more than that. For my mentor alone, he charges $2,800 per session. So yeah, the value I estimated to be, I wanted to not just give you his, but the value in general. And so $1,500. I have a sale going on right now where if you would like this, it is for $597. And then I love doTERRA oils. They're high vibration. And so I want to also gift you, if you choose to work with me one-on-one, one of 3 oils. And then I have my moon package, which is 5 60-minute sessions. And that's value is $3,700. I have it on sale for $997. And then you get all 3 of the peppermints as a bonus to that package. And then I'm super excited about my sun package. It is the best deal. It is a full year of mentoring with me, and we go over it. We go over a ton of different things. And that value is actually way more than 15,000. But again, I wanted to be conservative with that. My sale is $8,057. And then you get the doTERRA oils and a humidifier with that, as well as, I didn't put this on here, but I have a private group that I will invite you to, where it is people that I truly love, know, and trust on this Facebook website or Facebook page. And I only let my very, 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 very intimate friends and family onto this, and you will get access to that. It's all about nutrition, and there's extra tips and trainings and yeah, on that page, and you will get access to that page as well. So those are my packages, and I want to personally thank you for being here today and spending the time to listen to this, to be here, to spend your time. I really truly honor your time. It is valuable, something you can never get back. So I hope that I gave you some great information and that you benefited from this information and learned something new. My hope and my prayer for you is that you, again, found value. And I want to remind you that you are worth making your dreams a reality. There's only one you in the entire universe. You are exquisitely unique. I have a mentor that says that too. Infinitely valuable, exquisitely unique. That comes from James McNeil, if you're interested in knowing where that came from. All right, you guys, I really do honor and appreciate you coming here today, spending this time with me, and know that it all starts with the roots, and your roots and your truth are really important. Building integrity is important. If you don't know who you are and you just feel lost, that's a great place to start, is building your to be list and then honoring that list. I want to just come back on here and stop sharing this for a minute. Hi. All right. Before I go, again, thank you for being here. My voice is starting to give out, but I want to thank you for being here and taking the time to watch this, especially if you went all the way through it. It was kind of a long, it'll be interesting to see how long. I can't see, but it was kind of a long training, but I honor you taking the time, and I hope that you take action on your goals, that you set some push and pull goals, and that as you do that, you will find success. You deserve success. You are amazing. There's only one of you in the entire universe. How amazing is that? And I hope that this finds you and that you know that you're worth so much, so much. All right. For now, I bid you cheers and have a beautiful day. And life is good. Life is beautiful. Live life on purpose. And you do that by choosing your destination and your direction. All right, you guys, have a beautiful day. And I guess I'll plug this in. If you find this on Facebook, like, subscribe, share, all that, you know what to do. All right. Have a good day. Bye.